Hello everyone, it's Dina Swanson, aka Getty Girl. I recorded this video, but I didn't record it. So here I am recording it again. I hope. Anywho, I wanted to show you the swap that I made for Junk Journal Junkies. The theme was Alice in Wonderland. It had to be at least 7 by 5. It had to have at least 15 pages. It could be white pages or it could be coffee and tea stained, and you can use digital prints. What I chose to do is I chose to use digital prints from this CD. I saw her picture in one of my UK magazines. Absolutely had to have it. And when I did some digging, it turns out that I could purchase it from Amazon, so I was pretty excited about it. So this came all the way from the UK. And this particular DVD is geared towards card making for the most part, but it had sheets like pattern paper and things like that. So I was able to manipulate it and use it for this particular swap. So this is what I made right here. This is what it looks like. And it opens. This is the closure. You had to do a cover, one signature and a cover. And so what I ended up doing was I ended up using a 6 by 9 envelope. Was it 6 by 9? No, 9 by 11. Sorry, 9 by 11 envelope. And I used tie back in the middle to give it some more support. And what I did was is I basically Mod Podged some tissue paper on top, and I brought it all the way over to the flap. So I Mod Podged some tissue paper, let all that nicely dry, and then I gessoed everything so that way it can absorb my sprays and my paints. Well, I didn't use paints, but my sprays. And then I used Tattered Angels and used some turquoises and teals and some gold type dusting, and then a little bit of red here and there because the digital prints had some red in it. So I thought it turned out nicely. This stitching here is the back of the zigzag stitching that you'll see on the other side, and I like the way it turned out here. And then I used some wax um, thread, and what I did for the first time is I decided to do some beading, so I incorporated the beading on the spine. I love how that turned out. And then these charms here all through the book, unless I let you know, I bought these all in one lump, one bulk package, and they were Alice in Wonderland theme. I think these were bronze, and I got it from Amazon. So you've got the cat, and you've got Alice, and then some of the different little images that pertain to the book. So anyways, most of these are from that. And let's see what else. This particular medallion, I happened to be in Salem and I picked this up at Hobby Lobby. So I was quite pleased that I was able to find it. And I think I even got it for clearance. And this right here is a decoupage print from a CD. And so basically it had all these different elements or pieces, and you just layer it and layer it, and layer it, and then basically you get more of a 3D look. So I really liked how that turned out. And then what I did was is I ended up using some glassy accents to make this look more like a bubble, and then I stitched around it, and then I adhered this to some burlap cardstock. Love the way that turned out. And then I used a garment tag here, a garment pin, and then added another charm. And then the closure is some stuff that I had in my stash from years ago, and this is a brad, and so I thought that was perfect. And then I went ahead and added a key to it, and then the back has that same loop, and then I just tied this to the back of it. And on the inside, this is one of the prints. So all through the book, I'll just tell you, is all of the prints are from that DVD except for some little tags that I pulled off of Pinterest. So, and it's like the eat me, drink me, those types of things. So all of the printouts, digital printouts, are from that DVD, Debbie Moore Designs Journey to Wonderland. So this right here is one sheet, Curiouser and Curiouser, We're All Mad Here, and some of the different quotes from the book. I was going to cut it apart and split it between the front and the back. I decided to keep it together. I'm not entirely sure that that was a smart choice because I lose the rabbit, but I think I still love the way it turned out. So that's the front part of it, and then this is the back page here. And the reason why it's so shiny is because I went ahead and I Mod Podged the inside of it. So, okay, so carry on. So again, the printout, and then this is a little tuck here. And then what I did with this rose, again, this is from the DVD, so I went ahead and did some glossy accents on the rose to kind of give it a little bit more depth. This is a zigzag stitching. I went ahead and did it on the inside and it gave this effect. So some of the sheets came out, it came like a collage. And so what I ended up doing is when you cut it apart, I ended up keeping the border, and then I kind of implemented the border here and there throughout the book as well. So this was not on purpose. This is one of the pattern sheets. My color was running out on my printer, and I thought, you know what, I could still go ahead and use it. Why not? It kind of gives it a little bit of an eclectic look. So I went ahead and used it, and it was for the sole purpose because I knew I would be covering it up. And so here's one of the other images that I actually printed it out on ivory cardstock. And then I added some lace. And then here, I'm calling it gem trim. I got it at the Dollar Tree for $1, obviously. And so I just love it. It gives that nice little pop of color. And it tucks, and then there's a flip up. I left a lot of blank spaces in here because I wanted to make sure that the recipient was able to journal as much as they wanted, and because I know that the recipient is also making a Alice in Wonderland book, I thought maybe she might want to incorporate some of her own images in her book that she's getting from me as well. So that's mainly the purpose of why I wanted to. I didn't want to overload this book. So lots of journaling real estate in here. Here's the other side. Again, it was losing some of its ink when it was going through, but I still like it. I mean, the horse looks like he's just kind of on fire with teal. So that, I don't know, I thought it was really cool. Here's one of the little books that I made of the rocking horse. And then I just added some coffee stain paper in here. And then it has a little tie closure. I forgot to tie this up and put it back in its pocket when I was refilming this because, like I said, I thought I already did this. And then this goes in the pocket right here. Now this is one long bag, so it has an opening on the end on the other side. What I decided to do, since I knew that I was going to be splitting it, is I went ahead and just cut open here. I think normally we see people cut here on the other end. I decided to just cut it here, and so then that way I had a top pocket. And then there's one of the images and the queen with the rabbit, and I went ahead and used glossy accents. This particular paper I bought on Amazon. There's a couple in here. I bought this on Amazon already pre-stamped. I really loved it, and so I just wanted to incorporate it. Here's a charm on a paper clip, and then these are the ones from Pinterest that I actually put some sari silk on it. This is one of the images, again, from the CD, and what I did was I made a pocket out of it. So yeah, the Chester cat, and what I did was I backed him up on some ivory cardstock, and then I went ahead and made the other part of the pocket out of some packaging. I think it's Seven Gypsies. I got some stickers from there, and I love the packaging, so I wanted to make sure I incorporate it. And then inside I made a tab file folder from my We Are Memory Keepers punch board. I love We Are Memory Keepers. And then I just added some burlap cardstock, and then the red hearts that you'll see throughout the book I had left over from Valentine's, so I thought that was a good way of incorporating that. Here's another one of the images. And now this paper here is not all coffee stained paper. I actually bought the paper from Amazon as well. What I wanted to do was, just because I had I did a bunch of coffee stained paper, and I ironed it out, and then I went to go feed it through my printer, and my printer was not liking it. So I got some jams, and it made me nervous because I just got the printer, and what I didn't want to happen was I didn't want, I think my computer just faded out. What I didn't want to happen was I didn't want to ruin my printer too soon. So anyways, I thought, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and if I'm going to do some digital prints, I'm going to go ahead and buy paper that looks like it's already aged or stained. So, and that's what I'm going to print off of. I love this paper packet. I loved it so much that I bought it twice. I don't usually buy things twice, but this one I did. And you know what, guys? This particular paper coffee stains really well. And I coffee stain it and then I baked it in the oven. And I just love the way it comes out. I love how it has that crinkly feel on it. So I wanted to make sure I add some more journaling real estate. And so that goes there. And then I did some stamping through the book. And this is my actual coffee stain paper. Another image. And then I added some lace. And then again, the gem trim that I got from the Dollar Tree. And I actually zigzag stitch that on. As I was popping through all of my paper and I could not find any teacups, amazingly enough, I actually found that this key tissue paper that I had picked up at Tuesday morning. So that worked out really nice. And then here's a charm that I made, just a little dangle. Print out. And then this is actually a tuck. If you don't know where you are going, any road will get you there. And then I actually did some glossy accents on the hearts. This particular paper is Kool-Aid stained paper. I think I used like a raspberry blueberry mix is what it was called. I'm not sure, but I like the way that turned out. And I just used regular copy paper for that. And then here's some more of the Pinterest printouts. And then this here again is the border of the collage paper that came out when I printed. Whatever scene I wanted, or if I wanted all the chest art. So these are borders that came out, and like I said, I didn't want to get rid of them. I wanted to utilize them in the book, and so I just rouged it. Kind of see that? I just kind of rouged it up and then just zigzag stitched it on, and it became a little tuck. And then here I incorporated. This is that paper I told you that I actually bought it that already looks like it's coffee stained. It doesn't have the nice sporadic coffee stain to it, but it has a nice aged look to it, so it works for me. Here's a flip down tuck. Again, Valentine's hearts. And then this is a paper flower that I made, and then I added a button. I just pulled off the back of the buttonhole and just attached it. And so that's paper flowers. And then here's a tag, and this says "Eat Me," and then I added a little bit of the lace that I'm using throughout the book. And then this is again that pre-printed paper from Amazon that already had like a stamp image to it. Super pretty. This is paper that I had from a different collection. I went ahead and coffee stained this, and I thought it was interesting. It gave it this nice little effect. It's kind of weird. It gave it this little print there, so I thought that was kind of cool. It kind of brought that up, so I thought that was interesting. I just love the glitter, and then I attached a little banner and some little lace and that little gem trim. I did some more stamping through the book. Added some more lace trim. I think I mentioned that this was only one signature of 15 pages. This was part of that one paper packet, kind of the rosy colored rose color paper. This one has a different image to it, so I thought it fit really well with the theme. Again, I wanted to not again, but I thought that I might go ahead and do some of the vintage photo on the edge, but I kind of like some of the white in here as well, so it kind of gives it a nice little off color. My coffee stain paper, some stamped hearts, and for the center of the signature I went ahead and added some pockets here. I went ahead and used a punch, and then what I did here is I made a little booklet. He's from the DVD, and I just did a zigzag stitch all the way around, and then I added some of the scrap paper of the tissue and then some of that other I should call it faux coffee stain paper. And then here are a bunch of the tags that I got from that printout that I got from Pinterest. And then these are from the digital. This is from the digital kit. I was gonna do some of the ones that for Etsy, but I noticed there was quite a few of those, and I wanted to make sure that I wanted to try to do something a little different as far as imaging, especially, it'd be nice to have two different sets. Oh, because I say that because well, I own the one from the DVD, but I also made, I don't know if I mentioned it. It's getting late here, so sorry if I did, and this I'm sounding redundant, but I went ahead and made another set of this of these pages for myself. They're not completed, but I did do another set of printouts for myself. And so I'm hoping to incorporate it somehow in the book that I receive. And again, if I already said that at the beginning, I apologize. It's getting late. Oh, the one thing I didn't show you in the in the middle of the signature, here's that waxy thread that I use. And then I added some charms on the bottom to dangle. Some glossy accents in the corner and just made this into a little pocket. Here's a tuck. Punched a heart. It says drink me, and then flip up. I just love this rose, and I just love on the DVD they had different color variations that you could use. So I thought that was kind of cool. You had the brown tones, you had red tones, and it was just super cool. Here's the bird, and I made him into a little matchbook. And then I just used some of my scrap papers, and I purposely didn't align them at the bottom. I kind of wanted them to be off a little bit because the book is kind of off to some degree, right? So there's the cat. And then here is an envelope. Basically what I did was I adhered it to one side of the paper, and then here's where you can do some more journaling. You just kind of tuck that away, and then I used one of the images of him. He's kind of more in a rosy sepia tone, and then I made it into a little pocket. And so here is another little book that I made, and just added some little lace, that way the person knew that there was a book to pull out, and then it goes right there. And then here's another type of tone or colors that you could print him out. So again, I just love it. And so what I did was he's kind of a flap. And then when I did the envelope, the back of the envelope or the inside of the envelope, I decided to kind of make it into a pocket. So here's the other side of that glittery paper. And then I made banner. I used 2 banners and some lace and some of that gem trim. Here's another pocket. His watch flips up. And then again, from the heirloom paper pack that I showed you, I found this with all the keys, so I thought that was fitting. And like I said, it coffee stains nice. It's almost like vellum in a sense. It's pretty cool. And then just kind of added some, added some little trim there, and he's kind of a decoupage image too. So he kind of builds up piece by piece. And then here he is again. I printed him off on that faux coffee stain paper, and then backed him up on some ivory cardstock. And then here I used one of the store-bought charms, and then I made a little charm and attached it. I just like the way this too blends together between the Kool-Aid stain paper and him, so I thought that worked out really nice. Again, the bottom of one of the one of the collages, so just utilizing that. And then here's another image. It kind of reminds me though of her through this book. It's kind of like a selfie. She's taking selfies with all her friends. That's kind of what this whole digital kit kind of reminds me of. So it was kind of funny when I was thinking about that. So and here's the queen, and then again I use glossy accents. I just love this color, which is why that gem trim kind of matched that I used through the book. And here's another pocket, again using packaging for backing it up. And here's the actual front of it. And then there's a little tag here. And it goes back into this pocket here. We're almost done. And here's the other end of that bag. And then I just attached, or just incorporated a couple of tags. Here's a tuck and flip down. A lot of stitching through the book, and another paper flower and a button. And then here is another journal card. See, selfie with the Mad Hatter. And then I added some trim. Again, the borders. And then this is the back of the page. And I went ahead and kept the pocket. That way she could put whatever goodies she wanted to put in there, any spare parts that she may want to use a little bit later. And I just included some miscellaneous project cards in here. And that's all stitched up. And that's it, everyone. That's my book. I didn't do anything on the back. And that's it. I love how it turned out. So thanks for watching.